what's up, and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film Venom: The Last Dance. Now this is the final installment in the Venom trilogy, and of course you know this is part of Sony's Spider-Man universe. Now we do have Tom Hardy again in the role of Eddie Brock like Venom, and this time is directed by Kelly Marcel. Now this particular film depicts Eddie Brock, and I guess you could say Venom, on the run from various different sources. Like you have the I guess I can go ahead and say the Area 51 base, military base pursuing Eddie and Venom, it's even other symbiotes that they can find across the world. But at the same time, you also have the creator of the symbiotes, who's in another I guess you could say galaxy or something like that, who has sent symbiotes to Earth to find Eddie Brock and to pursue the Venom symbiote, because he has a particular thing that he needs. So that basically is what the film itself is about. The plot itself is basically Eddie Brock, or you could say Venom, on the run from these different sources, of humans after them, and even symbiotes after them too as well. So it is basically a cross country type trip, because they make their way to Las Vegas at one point, and the whole time they're trying to get to New York. So yeah, now the film I thought was pretty decent. I'm still surprised that I thought the first two Venom films were pretty solid. But this particular film, it kind of goes down, but still it's kind of okay and kind of entertaining. But I do believe at times that some of the visual effects were not great, and so on. They could have been better, you know. I believe Venom is getting too campy, too silly, because you remember he was really a hardcore, serious type villain, far as the Spider-Man comics go. So now they make him into this real big funny type hero now, you know, anti-hero. But I think it's still pretty solid though, and one of the things I thought was kind of interesting about the film too is the power of the actual symbiote creatures that were sent here to capture Venom. They are very powerful. They're more powerful than Venom. See, I didn't really know that, so I don't know if that's really true to the comic lore. And they're massive monsters too. And they only can see Eddie Brock when he's actually in Venom form. If he's actually just Eddie Brock, the creature can't see him. He has to be turned into Venom, where the creature can set this glowing yellow light on his back. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And these creatures you can blow them up and all kinds of stuff like that. I guess it's a spoiler territory, but they'll still come back together. So I thought that was kind of cool and interesting too. It's they're virtually almost indestructible. But yeah, you also have Chewie Ejiofor. He plays Rex Strickland, and Rex Strickland is a commander, and he works with this company that's involved with Area 51. They're actually located at Area 51, so that's one of the big plot points of the film, that Area 51 really exists, and it really does have stuff going on with aliens, because you can see all the symbiotes and stuff like that. So he's kind of a big part of the film. And at times, like I say, it's a spoiler territory. He seems like a good guy, but at the same time, it seems like he is kind of one of the antagonists of the film. But it's like he has a mixed role. It's he's on both sides basically. So I just leave it at that. Now you also have Dr. Teddy Payne, and she's a scientist. Now that's one of the things I thought was kind of odd. They had some development with her, her character. You could see an incident when she was a kid, and her brother was on this beach or something like that, and they were struck by lightning, and her brother was killed. But it's they don't really get into that anymore. Then that's all you see about her past. But she's actually one of the major characters in the film, and she's played by Juno Temple. And you also have Rice Alphonse as Martin Moon. You also have yeah, he's the one with the family that drives around, you know, they're heading towards Area 51, and at one point they pick up Eddie Brock on the road, you know, they pick him up, you know. And now moments like that I thought was too far-fetched, because the way Eddie looked at, you know, why would you pick up somebody like that? Because you would think that he's a hitchhiker or something that's about to attack them and stuff like that. So I thought moments like that were pretty interesting. And you also have returning people in the film, Peggy Lou return as Miss Chen, you know, the convenience store owner. She runs across Eddie in Las Vegas. You also have Stephen Graham as Patrick Mulligan. There's various different actresses and actresses that I want to touch on, but I just leave it at that. Now Andy Serkis apparently provides the voice of Noah. And I guess he's portraying, but it looks like Noah is kind of a CGI type character, because you don't really get to see that much of him. They world build him so much that you thought he would be definitely really in the film, fighting Eddie and all that. Oh, that's spoiler territory. But he's just really behind the scenes, and he's sending out his various symbiotes to track down Eddie and stuff like that. But overall though, like I say, they was just building him up so much. That's why you think it would have been another Venom film or something like that. But I know they do have the Craven film coming up and everything like that. So I don't know what's going to go on with all that in the end. And there's also there's like I said, there's other people I want to touch on, but I just leave it at that. But yeah, like some of the action and stuff, like some of the scenes you can see it in the trailer. At one point, like the symbiote jumps onto like a horse, where it attaches to some type of horse host. I think a frog, if I can remember correctly. All that was kind of odd and weird, you know. But it was kind of cool seeing the symbiote getting attached to all these different animals and so on. But yeah, I still was surprised at like the how powerful like those the symbiote monsters that would come that were sent to Earth. I'm like, no, I couldn't believe how they was like virtually like indestructible. You could shoot a bazooka at them, blow them up, and they'll just like regenerate, just come back together. I remember there was one point where they was on the airplane, you know, like the airplane chopped them on up, and it still like regenerated. I thought that was kind of interesting because I wasn't really familiar with them. But overall, in the end, I still think Tom Hardy's kind of cool in the role of like Eddie Brock and Venom. It's getting to the point where it was getting like really campy and like funny, and I always felt that Venom was more of like a serious type, like hardcore like type, you know, like character, but now to make him like campy like. I still thought it was like a decent, you know, and I've always been like a huge fan of Venom. He was always my all-time favorite Spider-Man like villain. I know he's like an anti-hero now, you know. But yeah, I guess I'll definitely recommend it for fans of these Venom films. So I'm giving Venom: The Last Dance, I'm giving it a C. And there are some Easter eggs at this film too. You have to watch all the credits to see one at the very end. Like I said, I don't know why they're leaving all this stuff open if this is supposed to be the last part, you know. And there's also one, like I think, like mid-credit scene too. So there are like some A's in the film too. You know, you have to watch all the credits. There's one at the very end, and there's one I think in the mid part of them too. I also noticed that the credits were very long too. But anyway, I'm giving this a C. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.